When the system says no, Black women build their own doors. Good evening, everyone. I want to start tonight by introducing you to someone who is not just changing the conversation, she is changing the game entirely for Black women entrepreneurs across this country. Her name is Sheryll Roberts, and she is a force of nature. Sheryll is not just building businesses, she is building bridges, pathways, and blueprints for Black women who have been shut out, overlooked, and underestimated by every system that was supposed to uplift them. She is teaching us that when the doors close, we don't just knock louder, we build our own house, we lay our own foundation, we create our own keys. And tonight, I want to share with you the powerful, disruptive insights Sheryll shared with me. Insights that challenge everything we have been told about success, survival, and what it really means to thrive as a Black woman in America. Here's what most people believe: they believe that when unemployment rises, when the economy tightens, when layoffs sweep through industries like wildfire, that is when dreams die. That is when people retreat into fear. That is when survival mode kicks in and ambition takes a back seat, right? That is the story we have been sold. That is the narrative that plays on repeat in our heads and in our communities. When things get hard, you hunker down, you play it safe, you wait for the storm to pass. But here is what Sheryll Roberts showed me. And here's what the data is screaming at us if we are brave enough to listen. While unemployment rates for Black women have climbed to 7.1%, even 7.5% in some reports, while 35,000 women lost their jobs, while federal layoffs gutted entire departments and left families scrambling, something else was happening. Something unexpected, something powerful, something revolutionary. Black women were not retreating, they were rising. Between 2017 and 2022, Black owned employer businesses grew by 56.9%. 56.9%. That is not a typo. That is not an outlier. That is not luck. That is the highest growth rate of any demographic group in the entire country. And it is happening right now, in the middle of economic chaos, in the middle of systemic exclusion, in the middle of a labor market that continues to tell Black women, you are not enough. You are too much. You are expendable. But Black women are saying something different. They are saying, if you will not make space for me, I will create my own. If you will not pay me what I am worth, I will build something that does. If you will not see my brilliance, I will shine so bright you cannot look away. Now, let's sit with that for a second, because this is not just about entrepreneurship. This is not just about side hustles or passion projects. This is about self determination. This is about refusing to let a broken system define your worth, your value, your future. This is about taking the education, the expertise, the brilliance that you have been carrying, often in silence, often without recognition, and building something that honors it, something that pays you what you deserve, something that lets you breathe, something that lets you be soft. And Sheryll Roberts is at the front lines of this movement, teaching Black women how to do exactly that without apology, without overextension, and without sacrificing their peace. So, tonight I want to share 3 insights from Sheryll that are reshaping how we think about work, wealth, and what it means to be soft in a world that taught us survival. First insight: Black women are the most educated demographic in the United States. Let me say that again, because this fact deserves to be heard, felt, and remembered. The most educated. Black women hold more college degrees than any other group. We show up, we study, we excel, we lead. And yet, we face some of the steepest barriers to advancement in corporate America. For every 100 men promoted to manager, only 82 women of color are promoted. 82. And when unemployment spikes, when budgets tighten, when companies restructure and reorganize, guess who gets cut first? Guess who gets passed over for that promotion they have been working toward for years? Guess whose expertise suddenly becomes expendable, invisible, forgettable? So, what are Black women doing? They are walking away, not in defeat, not in shame, in power. They are taking their degrees, their skills, their networks, their vision, and they are building businesses that let them reclaim agency, build wealth on their own terms, and stop waiting for permission from systems that were never designed to celebrate them in the first place. Sheryl told me something that stuck with me like a tattoo on my soul. She said, entrepreneurship for Black women is not just about making money, it is about making space, space to rest, space to lead, space to be soft without apology, space to show up as your whole self without code switching, without shrinking, without performing strength when what you really need is to exhale. And that is revolutionary. Second insight, start simple. Cheryl's adamant about this, and I want you to hear it clearly. You do not need a perfect business plan. You do not need venture capital. You do not need a fancy website with all the bells and whistles. You do not need 10,000 followers or a viral moment. You need one thing, one clear offer, one service, one product, one thing you can deliver with excellence that solves a real problem for real people who are ready to pay you for it. And here is the kicker, you price it to honor your value and cover your real life costs. Not what you think people will pay, not what your cousin charges, not what some guru on the internet says you should charge. You price it to cover your rent, your debt, your savings, your child care, your therapy, your peace of mind. You price it like your life depends on it because it does. And then you soft launch. You go to your warm network, your friends, your family, your church community, your book club, your sorority sisters, the people who are already rooting for you. You tell them what you are building and you ask them to support you, not because you are desperate, not because you are begging, because you are deliberate, because you know that the people who love you want to see you win and they are waiting for you to give them a way to help. Let me tell you about Kara Stevens. Cara is a Black woman, a financial coach who founded the Frugal Feminista to empower women, especially Black women, to heal their relationship with money amid economic instability and systemic undervaluation. Cara spent years in corporate roles, climbing ladders that kept moving every single time she got close to the top. She carried debt. She carried the conditioning of undercharging, of shrinking her rates, of playing small so others would feel comfortable. She carried the weight of the strong Black woman myth, the one that says you have to do it all, carry it all, be it all, and never ever ask for help. And then Kara said, enough. Enough of the cape. Enough of the code switching. Enough of waiting for someone else to validate her worth. She started with one simple offering, signature coaching sessions. She priced them boldly, not apologetically. She soft launched to her warm network the people who already believed in her. She bootstrapped. She diversified her funding streams. She refused to overextend herself. And today, Care has built a thriving brand. She has published best selling books, Heal Your Relationship with Money, and Unmasking the Strong Black Woman. She has created courses, built a community, and inspired thousands of Black women to step into entrepreneurship without sacrificing their sanity, their softness, or their peace. Kara did not wait for permission. She did not wait for perfect conditions. She started simple and she scaled with intention. Third insight, refuse to overextend. This is where Sheryl gets real, and this is where the soft girl era philosophy comes alive. Because here is what happens, you start a business, you are excited, you are motivated, you are ready to prove yourself, to show the world what you are made of, and then you try to do everything. You try to be the CEO, the marketer, the accountant, the customer service rep, the social media manager, the graphic designer, the copywriter. You try to carry it all because that is what you have been taught. That is what survival mode looks like. That is what strength is supposed to look like, right? But Sheryl says, no, absolutely not. You are not building another burden. You are building an abundant life. And that means you bootstrap creatively, yes. You diversify your funding beyond just sales, yes. But you also outsource early. You get help. You delegate. You protect your energy like it is the most valuable resource you have, because it is. Let me tell you about the collective story of Black women in STEM and tech. These women face stark, painful underrepresentation. Only 14.58% of federal STEM roles are held by Black women. Only 9% of computer science degrees go to Black women. And when it comes to venture capital funding, women led startups receive only 2.3% of funding. 2.3%. Let that sink in. So, what are these women doing? They are bootstrapping. They are starting with one hero offer that proves their concept. They are targeting women investors who research shows are twice as likely to fund women led ventures. They are building simple, scalable products and services that prove the concept without requiring them to beg for validation from a system that does not see them, does not value them, does not believe in them. And here is what is happening: startups with female board members are 37% more likely to succeed. Women funded ventures are outperforming their peers. Black women in tech are not waiting for the pipeline to fix itself. They are not waiting for diversity initiatives to trickle down. They are building their own. But here's the part that Sheryl emphasizes, and here is the part that ties directly into the heart of the soft girl era. These women are not just surviving, they are thriving. They are setting boundaries without guilt. They are saying no without explanation. They are resting without apology. They are choosing softness, not as weakness, but as a radical act of self preservation and self love. Because here's the truth that nobody wants to say out loud: the world taught us survival, it taught us to hustle harder, grind longer, sacrifice more. It taught us that rest is lazy, that boundaries are selfish, that softness is for people who have the luxury of not being strong. It taught us that our value is tied to our productivity, our worthiness is measured by our output, and our strength is proven by how much we can carry without breaking. But Sheryl Roberts and the women she works with are rewriting that script. They are saying, I can be soft and successful. I can rest and still be productive. I can say no and still be generous. I can build wealth without burning out. I can choose me without apology. I can release the cape and still be powerful. And that, my friends, is the revolution. Now, let's talk about what this means for you. Because if you are sitting here tonight and you are tired, if you have been carrying the weight of the world on your shoulders for so long, you forgot what it feels like to put it down. Ta-ta. If you have been told that your value is tied to your productivity, your worth is measured by your sacrifice, your strength is proven by your silence. Because if you have been waiting for someone, anyone, to give you permission to rest, to dream, to build something that honors who you are and not just what you can produce, I want you to hear this. You do not need permission, you need a decision. Sheryl Roberts taught me that entrepreneurship is not about having all the answers. It is not about being ready. It is not about feeling confident or having your life together. It is about asking one question: what is the simplest offer I can make to my circle this week to prove that this is possible? Not next year, not when you have more money saved, not when you feel ready or when the timing is perfect. This week, because the truth is, the system is not going to fix itself. Corporate America is not suddenly going to start promoting Black women at equal rates. The wage gap is not going to close on its own. The unemployment rate is not going to magically drop because we wish it would, or because we work harder, or because we pray louder. But You have the power to build something different. You have the education, you have the expertise, you have the network, you have the vision, and you have the right, the divine right to build a life that feels good, not just one that looks good on paper. So here is my call to action for you tonight. And I want you to feel this in your bones. I want you to ask yourself this question, and I want you to sit with it until it makes you uncomfortable, until it makes you move. What if your why for entrepreneurship is not just survival, but the spark to build the wealth and agency corporations denied you? What is the simplest offer you will launch to your circle this week to prove it is possible? Write it down right now. Text a friend. Make the call. Start the conversation. Post it. Say it out loud. Because the women who are winning right now, the women who are building that 56.9% growth rate, the women who are redefining what success looks like for themselves and for their daughters, they did not wait for perfect. They started with possible. And you can too. Sheryl Roberts is proof. Kara Stevens is proof. The thousands of Black women launching businesses in the middle of economic uncertainty, in the middle of systemic exclusion, in the middle of a world that told them no, they are proof. And tonight I am asking you to become proof too. Because the soft girl era is not about doing less. It is about doing what matters. It is about releasing the cape, redefining strength, embracing softness, healing in real time, protecting your peace, and turning your pain into purpose. It is about learning to be soft in a world that taught you survival. And it starts with one decision, one offer, one step, one brave, beautiful boundary setting, peace protecting, wealth building, softness embracing choice. So I will ask you one more time, what will yours be? The world is waiting. Your community is waiting. Your future self is waiting. And the door you build today will open for 1,000 women behind you. So build it, price it, launch it, own it. And watch what happens when Black women stop asking for permission and start building their own doors. Thank you